Before the stars faded from Sinai's dawn, two forces met in the unseen, light and rebellion face to face, standing over the silent body of a prophet. One sought to accuse, the other came to defend. And in that timeless moment, heaven itself held its breath. When Moses' final breath left him upon Mount Nebo, the winds carried a silence that the earth itself seemed to honor. He had seen the promised land from afar, yet he would never set foot upon it. Alone, he lay upon the mountain's edge, a man who had spoken to God as a friend. But death, even holy death, does not go unnoticed in the spiritual realms. For in that shadow between mortality and eternity, something stirred. The adversary approached. Lucifer, once radiant among angels, now clothed in pride, came to claim what he believed was his. He had a case, or so he thought. This man, the accuser reasoned, had struck the rock. He had disobeyed. He had doubted. His soul belongs to me. Yet before the darkness could lay claim, light broke through the unseen. Michael, the Archangel, the defender of Israel, the prince of heaven's armies, descended. Not with fury, but with authority. Not with words of his own, but with the power of the Lord who sent him. Lucifer sneered, the air around him trembling with mockery. You, Michael, would oppose me for this fallen man? Look at him, flawed, weak, unworthy. Michael did not answer with insult, nor did he engage the rebel's venom. He stood firm in the holy stillness and said only, "The Lord rebuke you," and in those words, just 5 syllables, eternity spoke. Lucifer's fury faltered, his claim shattered. It was not Michael's argument that won, but Michael's obedience. It was not debate, but divine authority. He did not fight with pride, he stood in reverence. The mountain trembled, the light deepened, and where accusation once echoed, peace descended like the morning dew. Moses' body was taken by God, hidden from men and angels alike, sealed in mystery, so that no idol, no relic, no trace of human pride could ever rise where God had only meant remembrance. But few understood what came next. The confrontation was not about Moses alone. It was about the nature of power itself. Lucifer, fallen through pride, demanded control even over the dead. Michael, steadfast in humility, submitted control back to God. And maybe that is our own hidden battle between the need to argue and the call to surrender. Between trying to prove our righteousness and trusting the one who speaks for us. Centuries later, the Apostle Jude would write of that moment, just a line, almost hidden. Yet Michael the Archangel, when contending with the devil about the body of Moses, dared not bring against him a railing accusation, but said, "The Lord rebuke thee," a verse so brief, yet burning with the wisdom of heaven. Michael's restraint was not weakness. It was worship. He understood something humanity often forgets. Victory is not seized by anger, but by alignment with divine will. Imagine it. The stillness of Nebo, the dawn just breaking over the Jordan Valley, the hush of heaven watching, the enemy silenced by a single sentence. That mountain became a sacred secret, a place where pride was humbled and obedience crowned. No one knows where Moses was buried, for it was not meant for mortal eyes. His resting place was God's alone, as if heaven said, "This servant is mine." And in that hidden act of burial, God wrote a parable without words. Because sometimes holiness is not found in being seen, but in being surrendered. Sometimes the greatest battles are not fought with swords, but with silence anchored in faith. Michael could have spoken 1,000 judgments, but he chose reverence. He could have claimed the right to command, but he bowed to the greater voice. He did not argue, he invoked. He did not boast, he believed. Have you ever stood at the edge of your own battle, tempted to fight fire with fire, words with words? And maybe, in that moment, heaven whispers, "Say less. Stand still. Let the Lord speak. Because true authority doesn't shout, it abides. It does not need proof, it needs presence. That's what Michael carried that day. Not pride, not fear, just the weight of divine trust. The enemy still tries to accuse not just Moses but all of us. Every failure, every sin, every scar we carry becomes his argument. But there stands another defender. One greater than Michael, the risen Christ. He too says, "The Lord rebuke you," and in his wounds our verdict is reversed. Heaven's justice is not about earning, it's about belonging. Lucifer wanted to claim a body, but God claimed a soul. And from that mountain, the whisper still echoes. The Lord defends his own. So when guilt comes, remember the mountain. Remember Michael. Remember the silence that defeated accusation. Because that same power, humble, quiet, unstoppable, still guards you today. In the unseen realms where pride still argues and shadows still whisper, one truth remains unshaken. Light does not win by shouting at darkness. It wins by standing in the presence of God.